Will Trump be rushed and placed on a doomsday plane? Guess what? The doomsday plane for America has just started going airborne again. It's kind of weird, huh? Especially after all this talk. What's to go on with that? We'll discuss that. Also, we're going to discuss what California's new policy is going to be. What New York's new policy is going to be. It's for Americans. No, it's not. I'm just joking. It's actually a new policy for illegal immigrants in both states. And it will blow your mind at the amount of money that your government is wasting. While our focus is on everything else, these Democrat leaders, these governors, are absolutely spitting in the face of Americans. We'll discuss exactly what their two policies are. And then we're going to go to chicken. We're going to go to your food. How long does it take to grow crops and grow chicken? To grow the animal? What's amazing how now we're pushing all these yields because people don't know how to grow food. People don't know how to fend for themselves. So we've developed these special chickens, these special crops to produce for us. The thing is, how unhealthy is it truthfully looking at these animals and looking at these crops that are growing exponentially fast? Do we honestly believe this is the natural and honest way that we're supposed to get food? And then lastly, we're going to talk about what no one wants to discuss. The situation with the Palisades fire is part of this. The situation with Americans not being able to afford their insurance, their auto insurance, their home insurance. Typical Americans are not able to buy their houses anymore. We're going to discuss all that today as we jump into what's really going on. Because our focus has been on all these world events. Sadly, America is sitting here going through some crazy problems that we need to focus on. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new, please go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up. And we're gonna hit these headlines very quick because it's a lot I wanna throw at you today and I don't wanna try to make this too long of a video. First, let's talk about the doomsday plane. This is coming from several journalists that has ties to the intelligence service. Listen, it says the U.S. Air Force E-4B doomsday plane built to withstand nuclear blast and command U.S. forces during global emergency is now airborne. Known as the Night Watch, this jet is only launched during high-level crises. Its flights signal military readiness in the highest level, comes amid rising speculation of potential U.S. action against Iran. Now remember, Trump was supposed to have basically he was in the Situation Room for a majority of the afternoon, and he was supposed to have an address last night, and he didn't. All of a sudden, Khomeini is having an address this morning. So what's transpired since then and what's going to happen? I want to keep on going with this doomsday plane. Iran came out and said they are not scared at all of the U.S. Says they better get 50,000 coffins ready. Now that's bold talking there. And remember, they were stroking a nuclear warhead last night in an interview. Is this propaganda or is this truth? Now, it's amazing how, people even in our country, especially people on the right, are like, we don't need to go to war. I agree with you. I don't think we need to go to war. I think we need to do like Soleimani, make a quick hit, get out and be done. Because if these people keep threatening 50,000 casualties, why do we allow these people to even threaten that? They've been threatening that for years. Why are we allowing that to take place? It blows my mind. Let's keep on going with the Night Watch. The Night Watch, aka Doomsday Plane, this is from another source. The President's Emergency Command aircraft just landed at Joint Base Andrews outside Washington, D.C., following a highly unusual flight path from Shreveport, Louisiana. Historically, the aircraft has been activated during severe crises, including the nuclear threats, even 9/11. Best case scenario, prep for U.S. military action on Iran with heightened presidential security. Worst case, anticipation of nuclear escalation. Either way, the nuclear doomsday plane is flying, and it's now close to Trump. That's a pretty big deal, I thought. I really do. I think that's a huge deal that we need to, it's not being discussed enough, and I think that that's what scares about all this rhetoric. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, and no matter what your politics are, we're literally threatening annihilation of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. Does that not blow your mind that we're even just making light of that? We made light of it with Russia-Ukraine situation. Now we're making light. I mean, it's just like, oh, it's just another, million people dying. I mean, it's just kind of crazy that we're even making light of that. It's unbelievable. I have stockpile videos of things that you need. Talking about a nuclear blast, please go back and watch those prepping stockpiles, because I believe it's something that we're not paying attention to enough. Now I want to move on to a few more issues that deal with America, because this is where our focus needs to be. Now again, I know we've been talking a lot about everything going on in the world, but I think we need to focus on what America is happening in America. Listen to this listen to what happened yesterday. A Big Bear AI update. Announced today, Big Bear AI deploys enhanced passenger processing biometric technology in major ports of entry. Most of these have already noted, being in, of course, London, Amsterdam, and several other places across the world. Now they will be used by TSA and United Airlines, Delta Airlines, personally in places like Denver, JFK, Orlando. And it will be used with biometrics, scanning people's fingers, faces, and eyes. Didn't we talk about digital ID? Didn't we talk about real ID and how important we need to push against this stuff? Well, our focus has been on that. Guess what's happening? This new AI, artificial intelligence, is now getting, if you are flying, you are now getting certain biometrics that are now going to be taken in, and your information will always be used by them. Think about artificial intelligence having your full DNA and specifications with your fingerprint and your eye and your facial recognition. Are we happy about that? That's happening in our airports, not all across the world. Our airports. That's why we need to focus on things that are happening right here, because I'm scared that while our focus is on everything else, we're missing out on what's actually happening back in America. Let's listen to what's happening in California and New York, because this is why deportation is so important, and this is why I'm scared of what's actually going to happen with American politics, because I believe you have one party that is literally promoting things more for illegal immigrants than they are Americans. New policy by California. California is expanding their California Food Assistance Program to give illegal aliens 55 and older, regardless of immigration status, up to $2,000 a month in food assistance. This is more than Americans are getting even on Social Security and food benefits. This goes as an expansion that will go in place as soon as 26 or 27. So let's stop for a second. Oh my gosh. I know people right now that work for me. And I know grandparents in our churches, I know even my grandparents, they were not even getting $1,000 a month. And they were getting $1,300 a month maybe, $1,500 a month maybe, $800 a month maybe. I mean, we're talking under $2,000. And you're telling me now that California is fixing to pass a ordinance and a law in the state of California that it didn't help out American families in California with food assistance, which I do believe that we need to help people that need to eat. I do believe we need to be working. You need to show signs of working there. But we're not helping Americans now in California. We're giving $2,000 a month to legal immigrant families of 55 and older so they can buy food through government plans. So are they contributing to America? No, they're taking from America. Now listen, I wouldn't probably be for giving $2,000 grants to anyone, even Americans, if they're not working for it and did not actually work for it over the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. It makes no sense. $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year per person that's 55 and older. That's unsustainable. And we're not even talking about Americans, we're talking about the illegals. Let's just say for instance, there's only 10 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Did you know that they said 20 to 30% of Los Angeles and San Diego is illegal? So they're saying of course, California is the main illegal hub, of course, but they're saying if you look at the population of California, especially Southern California, that they said 20 to 30% of that could possibly be illegal immigrants, or at least have ties to legal immigrant families. How's California going to afford that? Now let's go to another California policy, because this is what's so funny. While they're giving your money away, it's mind-blowing. While they're giving your money away to illegal immigrants, listen to what actually is happening with Palisades Fire. Property liens are being placed in Los Angeles on the Pacific Palisades fire victims. The city has come out and placed these notices on LA fire victims' homes, shown in the video, of course, and this was shared on social media. We have a deadline of June 1st to pull permits and June 30th to complete the work, or else the county will start putting liens on the property. Meaning, here's what's happening. So the fires burn, your property's there. It's California's fault because they did not actually clean up the areas and actually do fire prevention, okay? They diverted water. You can go back and look. You don't have to debate me on it. Go back and look at what California did with their waterways and hurting themselves with their reservoirs and their lakes and their rivers. Now what California is saying is you've got millions of dollars of destruction each. You have a timeline to clean it up. If you choose not to clean up your own house that we allow burn because we cut the fire department, we diverted water, now we're going to put liens on your property. So not only do you have to pay property tax, because they're still having to pay property tax, you now have to cover and get your stuff cleaned up. Not only do you have to get your stuff cleaned up, you have to get a permit from us to say how you clean it up. So let me go through this one more time, make sure we understand. This is why you got to get out of these liberal areas. The house burns because policies by the government. Then the government is still charging you high property tax. The insurance has already said they can't pay the losses because of the way California has done business. Now you have a junk pile on a piece of property that California wants now, and you have to pay for it to get cleaned up. Before you pay for it to get cleaned up, you have to get a permit to show how you clean it up, because California has certain ways. You can't just go haul it off. It's got to be hauled a certain way. So now you have to go through proper protocol channels. If for some reason you can't get it cleaned up by the time frame that they put in, by the channels they put in, by the fact of how they told you to get it off your property because it has certain specifications, then they get to fine you even more. You have 30 days. All of a sudden the 30 days are up, now you have liens against your property. So now you have property tax on property that's not even a house there anymore. You have certain ways to clean it up, and if you don't, they tax you. And they also penalize you if you try to move it a certain way, and now they're putting liens on your property. You know what that means? That means they're basically taking your property. Because they have different plans for that property, huh? Isn't it amazing? This is the same area that they're wanting to build a lot of new infrastructure for the Olympic Games that are coming in a few years. It's just amazing. So they're giving $2,000 a month to illegal immigrants over 55, while you're maybe starving, while maybe veterans are literally homeless in California, while they said the average American cannot buy a home in California because of the cost of living. And now they're overtaxing and penalizing and setting precedent to put liens on property that was already paid for of the Palisades fire, which they kind of caused. Now let's go to New York. New York is setting aside $50 million to pay for attorney fees and legal fees for illegal immigrants to try to stay in America. So while ICE is now trying to deport these people, New York just passed a bill that they're going to put and allocate $50 million to pay lawyers so they will not be deported, to help with the legal fees. Now, did the government pay for your legal fees for anything that you needed? No. So they're literally using your tax dollars to pay for other people to stay here. Where's the care for America? Where's the care for true Americans? Let's go to Chicago. Let's have fun with this. Chicago, well, at least they're helping Americans. Oh gosh, this is probably one of my favorite stories because you see the honest truth of what somebody wants to do and how leadership. This is what bad leadership causes. Well, Chicago's trying to help Americans, but they're only wanting to help only certain Americans. Just in, Chicago mayor comes out and says he announces grants for only black people with reparations. Investing in blacks is not a criminal act. Now, this is quotes from him now. I'm going to say it again. Investing in blacks is not a criminal act. My goal is to give millions of dollars to the black community. He left out the fact that there's other Americans in Chicago, right? So I just gave you 3 situations: California, Illinois, and New York. Every one of those situations are not trying to help Americans in general. They're trying to help everyone else, along with helping certain people that they choose to help. Why are we allowing this to take place? All these justices going against Americans and trying to basically set their precedent. This is where I come and say our struggle is real as Americans. Conservative Americans are fixing to see what UK sees. Struggling Americans are not going to get any better. A new report of auto insurance. And again, this is where it's like if the government wants to help people, why not help the Americans that are actually paying taxes? Everybody gets free food that's not even a paying citizen here that's paying the Social Security to help other Americans. This is the new report. Auto insurance rates in the U.S. have increased 84% over the last 5 years, the biggest 5-year spike ever in history. The last 2 years of the Biden administration and now rolling into this year, the highest rate is 84%. People are paying 84% higher. I know my insurances went up tremendously. Now the government's not paying me they're not helping me. They're not giving me food assistance. And I'm not asking for it, but what I'm saying is this. If you're wanting to help people, help the veterans. Help the elder among us that need help. Help cover some of this. Credit them that way. Not the legal immigrants with attorney fees and in special interest situations in Illinois. We need to help Americans. Right now, we're in a major problem. People can't afford homes, can't afford their insurance, and we're giving our money away to people who are not actually here legally. It's unbelievable. And all the while, our focus is on other countries. Now again, is there a threat real coming to America? Maybe. I mean, we literally have a Iranian leader saying 50,000 coffins, America needs to get ready. That's crazy. So do I believe that's a big concern? Yes, I do. But what I'm scared of is we're taking our focus off Americans. Now, last story I want to go to, because again, I've been hitting on this food situation because I believe our food system is completely broken. Chicken that used to go to market here in America used to take a year for it to grow. That number then went to 4 months. Now that number has dropped to 14 weeks, now to 12. Now today's market, even 8 weeks. So what signs that our food system is not broken and not safe is to say that when a bird used to take 12 months to grow, now it takes 8 weeks to grow. But they promise there's nothing in that bird that's dangerous. Isn't it amazing how we've mutated that bird and engineered that bird and changed that bird's DNA so much that we can take that same bird that used to take 12 months to grow, takes 6 to 8 weeks. You know how long it takes for even organically grown chicken to grow and hatch from the market? He said that process used to take literally upwards of a year or 2, sometimes even 18 months. Now we see even quote-unquote organic chicken is down to 12 weeks. Now that we recently see this, what about corn? Corn used to have a yield of heirloom non-GMO corn. To grow all season for a farmer, they'd work 7 days a week trying to keep weed, bugs away from it, pests away from it, weather damage. Now, the same farmer's family, 3 generations later, are raising 6 to 8 times the amount of yield with less problems on the crop. Now, most people would say this, Colby, that's a great thing. Corn that won't get destroyed. Chickens that are growing like Godzilla within 8 weeks. That's what we need because we have food shortage. You talk about food shortage all the time, Colby. But what are we giving up to have that food? What are we giving up to have that food? We're giving up maybe chances of health because it's been so modified. And what happens when we put that in our body? The corn is got glyphosate built into the DNA. That chicken, no, it's not fed and given shots of antibiotics. See, this is how they get you. This is my favorite. You go to your chicken aisle and look on there. It says, made without antibiotics. Feed has not got anything in it. Natural, holistic fed. See, what you don't realize is they're doing it way before then. They're doing it in the incubation stage. They've done it with the cell mutation. I laugh because the same people pushing away from Petri dish meat is the same people that's eating that chicken that's been grown in 6 to 8 weeks, which they're basically eating still Petri dish meat because what they've done is they developed this super chicken, like Chickenzilla here, to grow. If you can grow a chicken that used to take 12 months, now you can grow it in 6 to 8 weeks. You believe that was natural? It's unbelievable. all these stories. Here's my push. In the name of safety, what are we giving up? In our airports, we're giving up our DNAs, our biometrics, all in the name of safety. With our food system, all we're giving up. You know what Anna Navarro said from The View? Just ignorant lady. She said, when we deport all these people, who's going to milk our cows? Who's going to pick our food? Who's going to do all the work that we don't want to do? Did you hear? She said the quiet parts out loud. America has gotten so flipping lazy and so wrapped up in its own narcissism that we would rather pay basically slave labor, because that's what these people are making, cheap economics. We'd rather pay them that and then mooch off the system of the government in the name so we won't have to get our hands dirty. We'd rather eat bad quality food that we call good, like the corn and the chicken. Oh, it's healthy. It's not got anything in it. But it's been so engineered that because we have to have food, because we are it reminds you, like I told you before, we're like the big fat baby. I've said this plenty of times. It's like, please keep on feeding me. I can't do I can't do nothing for myself, but please keep on feeding me. So therefore, instead of me going out and actually getting my own food, from me going out and actually trying to do as much as I can to be holistic and regenerative, from me going out and trying to buy from a farmer that's actually trying to practice good policy with good heirlooms and non-GMO and organics, we're like, no, just feed me the garbage. Feed me that garbage because I want convenience. And that's what we're seeing with this chicken and this corn. It's what we're seeing with all our food system. So in the name of food shortage, we do this kind of stuff instead of getting more people growing food, instead of encouraging people to allow for less regulations on farms. Instead of doing all that, what we should be doing, we are trying to engineer more and make quicker food and longer preserved food. Remember what I said yesterday? My pickles, I can make pickles and they're going to last a few years, and they're made with like 2 or 3 ingredients. You can go to the store and buy pickles and they last a few years, but they have cleaning astringents in it that's carcinogenic. That polysorbonate that we were talking about yesterday. So the more that we allow for everyone else to provide for us, the more we're either giving up our security and safety, like the AI that we just talked about. The more that we're relying on someone else to pay for everything, like the government is starting to do with illegal immigrants. What it's going to do is going to put Americans in such binds that then all they're going to do is rely on the government to feed and clothe them. I think that's why they're showing what they can do with illegal immigrants, because that's what they're going to do with most Americans, because of most Americans are not going to be able to provide for themselves. And then again, on top of that, instead of us going out and doing things for ourselves, like Anna Navarro said, who's going to do the work for us? I mean, I'm too busy to do work. Who's going to provide our food? We're like the big fat baby waiting for somebody to spoon feed us. We are putting ourselves in a very precarious situation. And don't get me wrong, should our focus be on keeping Americans safe worldwide? Absolutely. But right now we have governors and we have state legislators and we have congressmen who are caring more about people who are not actually from here, who are here illegally, breaking the law, and actually providing for people one-sided wise instead of actually caring for Americans. Wouldn't it be nice if you could get your auto insurance dropped down to 2019 pricing? 84% savings? Think about that being that would be a payroll bonus, wouldn't it? That would be like the biggest raise you ever got, to get 84% less taken out of your insurance. Think about your food. Your food just went up, they said 42% since 2020. Think if you could get that pricing back down. So instead of government subsidizing certain things, government should make ways to make it better for Americans, and they're not doing that. Let's don't miss out on the problems. Convenience and comfortability, there's nothing wrong with that. Trust me, I like AC. I like ease. I like a hot bath. I want to keep those amenities. But sometimes I think Americans has gotten it so good that we've become so spoiled that we don't realize how actually good we have it. And I'm scared. Here's what I'm scared of, and I'm going to leave you with this. I'm scared because of our narcissism and our selfishness that we've not seen what humbling could happen to America. And that could be through financials in America. That could be through our food system in America. That could be through the coffin situation that Iran's talking about. It could be through a lot of different things. But I'm scared, instead of us humbly coming before God and being thankful for all the blessings that America has, I'm scared we're going to be humbled. And that scares me. Guys, let me know your thoughts on today's video. God bless.